We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you, Thursday, August 28th, here in Seoul. I'm Isujin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Chu.
Happy Thursday!
Thursday, also the ones with us. To have you. Both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So we're now heading towards the end of the work week, and many people may already be thinking about their next weekend outing. And these days, if you're out and about in Seoul, you might notice something different. More and more foreign visitors exploring the city. So just how noticeable is this growing number of international visitors in our everyday lives? So Chun, starting with you, have you noticed also more foreign visitors around Seoul?
Of course, I certainly have. I think Seoul is attracting international visitors all over the world. Yes, and the figure tell the story. According to the Korea Tourism Organization, Korea welcomed over 10 million international visitors in the first half of this year. That is a 21% increase from the same period last year. Even more remarkably, the figure is 126% higher than it was before the pandemic. And they're not just coming from across Asia. We are seeing a growing number of international visitors from the US and Europe as well. Well, I saw this trend firsthand just yesterday on my flight from Guam to Korea. And there seem to be more travelers from Guam, the US, Japan, and China visiting Korea than Korean passengers on board. I think I was the only Korean on board. Well, so it was striking to see just how many international visitors from different parts of the world were heading to Korea. So Korea's appeal clearly goes far beyond K-pop, K-drama, from food and fashion to history and everyday culture. So it looks like Korea's on everyone's itinerary now.
It's amazing you saw that so recently as well. So what about you, Lauren?
I've also noticed there are a lot more foreign tourists in Seoul compared to the first time I came to Korea back in 2020. That time, I mostly saw tourists in famous areas like Hongdae, Myeongdong, or Itaewon. But now it feels like you can see foreign visitors almost everywhere in Seoul, even in areas that aren't traditionally tourist destinations. And I really enjoy seeing that. I like seeing people from all around the world coming together, enjoying Korean culture, and enjoy the city together. Coming from France, I've also noticed that Seoul has become a very popular travel destination among French people. When people talk about where they want to travel to, Seoul is always at the top of the list. And I think there is a real desire now to experience Korea firsthand.
Right, so I think that's a great point. And it's interesting that the change isn't just about seeing more tourists in the usual hotspots, but seeing them across everywhere in Seoul. And this also shows how Korea has really become a destination people actively want to experience for themselves rather than, as Trian and Luan pointed out, it's a place they know through K-pop or Korean dramas. And that's why we're going to talk more about this, but first, let's take a look at the screen. With more tourists visiting Korea, the things they notice, appreciate, and talk about are evolving as well. In the past, Korea's music, food, and entertainment may have been the biggest draws, but now visitors are also taking notice of something much more everyday: Korean social customs and etiquette. Today on News Generation, we're taking a closer look at the Korean customs that intrigue foreign visitors, why it's possible to leave your belongings unattended in public places, and what tourists should keep in mind when visiting Korea. Just as we saw in a video, some everyday habits that Koreans barely think twice about can actually feel quite surprising to foreign visitors. And one of the things that seems to stand out is the way Koreans actually behave in public spaces and some social norms and also unwritten rules. So what is it about Korea's public etiquette that usually tends to kind of surprise foreign visitors?
So I think the thing that surprised the most foreign visitors in Seoul is how considerate people can be in public spaces, especially on the subway. For example, people usually line up and wait for passengers to get off the train before getting on, and once you're inside, it's pretty quiet, which make my ride always pretty comfortable. And another thing I personally love is the escalator etiquette that we can find also a bit in Paris. People traditionally stand on the right and leave the left side open for those who want to walk. So there is a clear flow of people. And that might seem like a very small thing, but for foreign visitors, they can make a strong impression.
So it's interesting that something as simple as lining up on an escalator can leave such a strong impression. It's not necessarily the custom itself that's unique to Korea, but rather how calmly and consistently people seem to follow it. And this idea of naturally following a certain order in public spaces is also actually closely connected to the way Koreans think about efficiency and consideration for others. So, Jun, why is standing on one side of the escalator such a common thing in Korea? Could we do it without thinking twice about it?
Yes, I think you just mentioned the answer. You know, efficiency and considerations for others. I think that's a key thing that Koreans keep that in mind every day. Well, this custom actually became widespread in the late 1990s when people began leaving one side clear for those in a hurry. So it's not an official rule. There's no rule about that, but rather an unspoken understanding between commuters. So stand on one side and leave the other open. It actually reflects this very Korean instinct. This is to keep things moving quickly while making sure you don't get in anyone's else way, being mindful of those around you. And of course, there have been concerns about safety issues and uneven weight distribution on escalators. Even so, people still tend to form orderly queues and leave a clear path for others, particularly during rush hour. But many people do follow these things, even when there is hardly anyone around. And Koreans generally see it as both considerate and efficient. Yes, two qualities highly valued in a fast-paced society in Korea. So in Korea, no one's watching you, but we still queue.
And of course, these are just some of the things that visitors notice once they actually spend time in Korea. So we also wanted to hear directly from our viewers. So we ran a poll on the Arirang News YouTube channel asking what aspect of Korean public etiquette surprised you the most. And here's what the results showed. So the biggest surprise was leaving belongings unattended in public at 72%, followed by people not littering at 15%. Packages left outside the front door came in at 7%, while standing on one side of the escalator was chosen by 6% of the viewers. So I would say the results are pretty striking. 72% chose leaving belongings unattended in public, by far the most popular answer. And it seems that what Koreans consider completely normal can be one of the most surprising things for our viewers, I guess. So from bags left at cafes to packages sitting outside front doors, this level of trust can definitely stand out to people from countries where leaving your belongings unattended can be a much bigger risk, which I would say most countries would be. So, and as our poll showed, some of the things Koreans consider perfectly normal can be quite surprising, I guess. So are there any other Korean customs and habits that we haven't mentioned yet that would surprise first-time visitors more?
One thing that really surprises foreigners, and we saw it on the poll, is the level of stress you can experience in Korea in the everyday life. For example, you often see people leaving their phone, wallet, and even their bag on the table in a cafe while they go to order or step away for a moment. And when I first came to Korea, I was also surprised by that, because in France, I would be much more careful about my belongings. And I think I'm used to it now, because when my French friends come to Korea, they are scared to leave their stuff on the ground or like somewhere. And I'm like, why are you scared? It's Korea, it's fine, kind of style now. So I really grow used to it. And it's not just about cafes. If you accidentally leave something on public transportation or somewhere in the city, there's also a strong expectation that people will hand it in rather than keep it. And I think that creates a very different feeling when you live here. You can go about your daily life with a certain sense of trust in the people around you.
So in France, the people not usually leave their stuffs out?
Never. Even if it's like next to you and you do not look at it, kind of, you can be stolen. Yeah.
Because in the States, I was kind of surprised when I first moved to the States that people would ask me to look at their stuff. So I was like, why is that such a, why do I have to look after their stuff?
We do that in France too.
Yes,
please look at my stuff.
Right, I'm gonna go to bathrooms. Can you like take a team watch over it, which was very different for me. So, I mean, this level of trust actually doesn't happen by accident. There are several factors that help make this kind of everyday behavior possible. So beyond simply trusting that others will do the right thing, what helps really create the sense of security. So how is it, Jiyeon, that it's possible to leave things unattended in public in Korea? How are we managing?
Yes, I think Koreans, they have a sense of trust within the community. That's why we have so many stuff in the Lost and Found Center. Yes. Yes, taking something that belongs to someone else is not only illegal, but also considered socially unacceptable. So there's also an unspoken sense that people look out for one another. If you leave your belongings for a moment, the person sitting next to you or behind you may naturally keep an eye on your belongings, even though you don't say anything. So, for example, here at Arirang as well, people sometimes leave behind their wallet or purse. For me, it was lipstick or something valuable. And amazingly, it can still be sitting in exactly the same spot. Maybe a week later, it was there. So it's simply part of Korean culture. So yes, there is a strong awareness that one's actions affect other people a lot, and causing unnecessary trouble is considered rather shameful for you and also for the family as well sometimes. And yes, Korea is also well equipped with CCTV cameras, surveillance cameras all around the city, of course, yes. So which make people think twice before breaking the law. And digital reporting, I'm sure that you heard about this before. Yes, it's remarkably easy to do that. We have digital reporting systems such as the Safety e-report application. So even if a car is illegally parked on the street side, someone can quickly report it through an app, and yes, they can report it and likely to get away with it. So digital reporting systems make it easy for the public to report suspicious or unlawful behavior. As a result, thief and other violations can often be detected quickly. So most people simply don't think it's worth the risk. So in Korea, the CCTV never blinks.
I love that line. And also, you said you left your lipstick at the company and you were able to find it.
Found it easily.
I had the same experience. I just remembered how I left my phone in the
was
bathroom. But it was still there in the same place. So I was
Nobody
able to
takes it.
retrieve it like hours later too. So it's true. So in Korea, there is a strong sense of community, and people tend to be highly conscious of how their actions affect others. And there's also a strong emphasis on social reputation. So that combination of social trust, consideration for others, and accountability can be seen in many other everyday situations as well. So have you noticed any other public habits you think are pretty common just specifically to Korea?
It's actually related to what we were talking about before, and it's about safety and trust. It's the unmanned store in Korea. There are a lot of them, and you can simply take what you want and buy by yourself, without anyone watching you. And as a foreigner, I find that quite interesting because it relies on people being honest and respecting the space. And I feel that the same sense of respect can also be seen in the cleanliness of public spaces, especially public toilets. I'm in love with them. In Seoul, if you suddenly need to use the restroom, you can usually go to a subway or department store or another public facility and expect it to be clean and well maintained. Coming from France, that was something I really noticed when I first came to Korea, and that now I really, really appreciate. These are small everyday things, but they show a broader sense of responsibility towards shared spaces, and that's something I really appreciate and enjoy here.
I've actually noticed that I've thought about this too. As someone obviously who's lived in the States, there's actually quite a number of unmanned stores. They're open 24 hours.
There is none.
It was funny is I actually went to one. I walked by a new one that opened recently near my place, and my mom was actually scared to go in because she thought she would be she'd be misunderstood. So I think it's quite funny how on the other hand, people, we're the ones, the customers are afraid that we might be misunderstood.
I'm always we never know, showing to the camera, I did buy the thing.
Yeah,
I have my credit card holder here.
We're the ones who are really careful. So,
That's right.
anything to add to this?
Yes, I reckon a lot of it comes down to being aware of the people around you. They think about others as well. For example, jaywalking is not really common in Korea. Yes, even when there are no cars coming, you often see some people waiting for the green light to be changed. Yes, you see the same mindset in restaurants and cafes as well. If there is a long queue behind you, and there can be an unspoken pressure to finish up and make room for the next person. And when Koreans eat out in groups, we often agree on the same menu, same dish to save time for others. It's not for us, it's for others. So someone says, How about sundaegook, or Korean blood sausage soup? And before you know it, sundaegook all around your table. So it keeps things moving very quickly, especially when people are waiting behind you. Think about others, and also at restaurants, at coffee shops as well too. If there is a long queue behind you, you tend to order a little faster, or maybe you use an application in advance. And like in some countries, highly customized orders. You have this white cream, introducing a specific type of milk, we're changing several ingredients. Less common here. We don't do that a lot. And we tend to keep it simple, partly because we don't want to keep everyone else waiting for you. So it's a small thing, but it reflects a broader habit of thinking about how your choices affect the people around you. So yes, so our Korea is becoming more individualistic. There is a strong instinct to read the room and move with the group. So even coffee here comes with consideration.
Because you mentioned restaurants, I also thought of another social norm where no one wants to eat the last bite. When you're eating out with your friends, everyone just leaves that last bite.
So I'm enjoying the last bite every time.
Go for it. So to find out what foreign residents in Korea really think about these everyday customs, we're going to hear from someone who experiences them firsthand right here in Korea. And that conversation is coming out right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out Channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
We're joined now by Monta, originally from India, who's lived in Korea for 2 years now. So hello, Monta. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Hello guys, good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me once again.
So Monta, good to have you back. So what culture norms stood out to you? What was kind of surprising to you when you first arrived in Korea?
As someone who has been following Korean culture for so long, I haven't been able to experience the actual concept of nunchi, what you call it, nunchi, the ability to read the atmosphere. When I first arrived here 2 years ago, it was quite intimidating, and it stood immediately out to me. Like, as someone who's from India, where our social spaces are very lively, vibrant, and expressive, experiencing such kind of high level of spatial awareness was quite fascinating. I noticed how effortlessly people are able to navigate shared spaces with quite consideration, whether it's lowering your voice when you're on the subways, or in any crowded places, or even while you go on escalators, you have to keep on the ride without anyone having to tell you. And it was quite a wonderful learning experience. It showed me how a culture can maintain social harmony through simple but shared unspoken rules. Even though it's not just the written rules, everyone knows how to do it. And it was so fascinating and lovely.
I do understand. You've got to get some nunchi awareness for others, yes, here in Korea. And then, Monita, what do you like most and least about public etiquette in Korea? And is there anything you wish India had too?
Well, what I admire most about Korean public etiquette is the deep respect everyone has for each other. Even if somebody is seeing or looking at you or not, everyone has the ability to have respect for everyone. When you stand on the line, when you are about to get on a bus, everybody will be standing on the line. Even in my university, when our classes are over, the students would go stand in the line just to get on a bus, and it was so good to see. Because quite in India back there, everybody will be like, I'll go first, without caring for anyone. Yeah, and as for what's challenging is that the extreme emphasis on quietness can sometimes feel a little bit formal and reserved, especially compared to the spontaneous warmth and casual chatter in India. But overall, both styles have their own unique beauty, and one brings Korean etiquette brings the order. well, India brings like kind of hype energy.
Well, we have the same problem in France with the bus line. We don't respect it. So that's why I also really like it in Korea. So what should foreigners know about Korean public etiquette?
Yeah, for any international students or for any travelers who would like to visit Korea, the key is like understanding that public spaces are like treated as shared quiet zones. So you need to be able to pay attention to the subtle cues around you. What you call it, 눈치. So you can keep your voice low on a phone call during in transit, or avoid like you should be able to like respect cues, whether you're in a hurry or whether you're boarding a bus or grabbing a coffee. You need to stand in line, no matter what. And also remember like simple gestures, like using two hands when giving things or receiving things, and even like leaving priority sitting open on subways, and even if the train is empty. And Korean etiquette isn't quite about rigid rules. It's simply about demonstrating like mutual respect. So if you approach it with open-mindedness and observation, you'll be able to adapt so quickly, and you'll be able to like enjoy a wonderful experience here.
I mean, I am quite impressed that you've picked up on all these like social cues in Korea already, and I can see why you've adjusted so well to life here as well. So, I mean, and also thank you so much for coming on
Yeah.
and sharing insights with us today, Malta.
Yeah, and it's such a like safety land to live in.
I hope you continue to experience this more.
Yeah,
All right, thank you so much for coming on.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
See ya.
The Korea's public etiquette may seem ordinary to locals, but for foreign visitors, it can offer a fascinating glimpse into Korean culture and values. From standing neatly in line to trusting others with your belongings, these everyday habits reflect a strong sense of consideration, trust, and efficiency. And as more people from around the world visit Korea, these little cultural differences may be what make their Korean experience even more memorable. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to Chi.
Have an effective and efficient day.
You do as well, and also Luan.
Have a good day too.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can leave your stuff behind, but don't forget where you left it. We are
News Generation.